Hey students! Today we're going to learn about parts of speech and sentence structure. I know that I've mentioned these things to you before, so I want to make it really clear. You've probably learned all these things before, but I want you to have notes in your notebook you can refer back to and be able to use anytime we do mentor sentences or when you're writing your paragraphs. So when I mention sentence structures to you, you know what I'm referring to and you can refer back to them for indication. So I want you to make a chart in your notebook like this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different rows and 2 columns. So if you're doing this on a paper, you can just draw a T chart, just draw a big line down the middle and across, and then you can just follow along with me. If you're doing it on Google Docs, you want to create a table where, let me show you how to do that really fast, where you click Insert and go to Table, and then go over to, and then just go down until it says 17, so that you have all your spots to fill in, okay? All right, so first we're going to go over parts of speech. And on the left-hand side are the abbreviations of these things that I would be putting on your writing. I might write N above something, or on a mentor sentence we'll write N above something. So this is almost kind of like your key for you to refer back to what these things mean. So N is a noun. Oops. And a noun is a person, place, or thing, or idea. Which means that you can have a thing as in like glasses, a place as in school, a person as in yourself, her, etc., or an idea as in like existentialism is an idea and it's a thing. Okay, so when you see N, that means noun. V means a verb. A verb is an action word. It shows what a noun is doing. There are also being verbs as well, which just say basically that a noun is. Like if you, literally the word is a being verb. So action word would be like jumping or just jump. And a being verb would be like is, be, are. This just states that a thing is, just exists, okay? And if you haven't already, you need to be following along and taking notes in your notebook as well, what I'm doing. So you'd write down N on the left-hand side and then the definition on the right-hand side. PRP means preposition. Preposition is something that shows relationship between two nouns. So you have to have two nouns, two things that we're talking about. And then it shows relationship between them. So for example, this is Mario. Hi Mario. This is Yoshi. Hi Yoshi. Okay, so Yoshi is next to Mario. The word next would be a preposition. Shows relationship to things. So example of that would be next, by, with, on, through, things like that. So you could be like, I don't know, Mario can't go through the Yoshi because that wouldn't work because he's not something to go through. But, you know, maybe Yoshi could go through the car. Actually, he can't. He's too big. Through would be, yeah. So next, by, with, on, through. Those are just examples. There are more of them than that, but it shows relationship between two things. Up, down, those are prepositions too. Okay. ADV means adverb, which is a describing word. And it either describes how a verb is done, or it describes an adjective. So to describe how a verb is done, you could be like running, verb. Happily would be the adverb. Happily running would be your adverb there, okay? Now, to describe an adjective, if an adjective, let's do that really fast. ADJ is adjective. Okay. Adjective describes a noun. Like smelly. The car was smelly. The car being smelly, smelly as the adjective. You could describe smelly, and that would be an adverb. So the car was pungently smelly. Then pungently is the adverb. Adverbs often end in ly, but not always. O, when you see O, it means object. And this is with a preposition in a prepositional phrase. So when you say, like I said, Mario is with Yoshi, the object of the preposition is Yoshi. Mario is the noun. Being with Yoshi is the object. Pro means pronoun. And this is a word that represents a noun. So instead of like saying someone's name, the most common pronoun that we use all the time is like he and she. Because it represents a specific person, but we're using he or she as a shorter version of that. And it represents a noun. The most commonly used pronouns are it and this or that, which are wide reference pronouns that refer to like any noun at all. So those are pronouns, but I tend to try to keep students from using them too much because they do, oh Jesus, what did I do? I'm sorry. Hold on, go back. They aren't very clear. So sometimes it's best to actually say the pronoun, but those are pronouns as well. ART means article. And an article just means one. And there's only two articles, a and the. So if you see a or the in a sentence, that is an article. S means subject. Subjects have to be nouns. And they are the subject of the sentence. So they're like in a sentence, they're the noun doing the action, doing the verb. Okay. V is verb. I know that I'm going through these, but you can pause and just write down at any time. You can also slow down the video. So verb is an action. Oh, I already did verbs, didn't I? We already did verbs. Ha ha ha. Oh my goodness. Silly me. Taking that one out. Okay. Okay, I. When you see I, that's an independent clause. A clause is a pair of SV, so subject verb, that can stand on its own. I'm just going to go really basic so that you understand this today. She ran. Subject, she ran, verb. It's simple and basic and can stand on its own. She is the subject, ran is the verb. That'd be an independent clause, okay? A clause is anything that is a subject-verb pair together. D means dependent clause. And dependent clauses are a pair of SV that cannot be by itself. And I'll show you why in a minute. So, like for example, if I wrote, when she ran, period. That no longer can stand by itself because it doesn't make sense by itself. We need something more to it. We need when she ran, something happened. So the when is a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating. Yes, I have to spell it like that sometimes. When, that, the, which, while, there's so many of them. Subordinating, when, that, which, because, since, if. These are all subordinating conjunctions. They are words that when you add to a normal clause, like she ran, they no longer can stand by itself. It makes it dependent. She ran is now dependent. We'll talk more about that when we get into sentence structures in a minute. So let's just go to the last thing that I wanted to show you, which is a plus sign. And a plus sign represents a conjunction, but not a subordinating conjunction, a normal conjunction. And the conjunctions that exist are called fanboys. You know fanboy? They're like super in anime or supernatural. Anyways, no. Fanboys is just a, I forgot what it's called, but it's a representation of the words that are conjunctions. So fan, so F, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. These are words that are conjunctions that are used to combine two complete thoughts together. So now that you guys know the kind of a key of what I'm going to be talking about, now I can really talk about the 4 types of sentences. And these are the 4 types of sentences. So simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. A simple sentence is one independent clause, period. So that would be subject, verb. Oops, I don't know what I did. That would just be a subject, verb, period. And that's how you would punctuate it. So make sure when you write this down, put down the punctuation too, because I'm showing you how to punctuate it as well. So that would just be like she ran, period. This is a simple sentence. Now, you can add more verbs to it and it would still be a simple sentence. She ran, walked, and skipped. And the reason why it's still just a simple sentence because there's only one pairing of subject, verb, she ran. A compound sentence would be 2 I's. It would be I, comma, conjunction, I, period. Or you can go I, semicolon, I, period, which would look like subject, verb, comma, conjunction, subject, verb, period, or subject, verb, semicolon, subject, verb, period. So that would look, for example, would be she ran and he walked, or she ran, semicolon, he walked. Okay, so compound sentences, 2 ways to do it. You can either use a comma and a conjunction or a semicolon to combine 2 independent clauses. They can stand by themselves. Now this is where where we start talking about dependent clauses, and this is why this matters. A dependent or a complex sentence is a dependent clause and an independent clause together. So you can either do it like this, D, comma, I, period, or D, or I, D, period, which would be a subordinating conjunction, D, subject, verb, comma, subject, verb, period, or subject, verb, D, subject, verb, period. Now, what that looks like in actual real language would be when she, let's do while she ran, comma, he walked, or she ran while he walked. The while is the subordinating conjunction. The D, that makes it dependent clause. We just use the word D to show that that is the word that makes it dependent. Okay, now we have compound complex, and this is where it gets real confusing because we're going to combine compound sentence with complex sentences. You can never have more than 3 clauses in a sentence, or it's a run-on. A complex sentence has 2, compounds have 2, simple have 1, compound complex have your 3. So that looks like I, comma, plus ID, period, I. So sneaky, I stuck in some of the typing there because I wanted to get it out there quickly before we ran out of time. Compound complex would be dependent, subject, verb, comma, conjunction, subject, verb, period. And there's 4 different ways to do that. So I'm writing the examples down here. While she ran, comma, he walked and Skip barked. She ran, comma, and he walked while Skip barked. And then you can do this like 6 different ways. But the point here is to have 3 clauses. All right, that's it.